Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel and welcome to day one of our Promaster build out. Don't forget to subscribe below so you don't miss any of our build series that's coming over the next couple of months. So before we get too far into today's project, I wanted to talk about the first step of building a van. I know this can feel a little self-explanatory, but ordering supplies is something we try to get done as soon as we decide that we're gonna go ahead with a build, especially with shipping delays and everything right now. It's really important to get all of your supplies ordered. That way you're not sitting around waiting on things to come in to move forward in your build. So between this morning and last night, Josh and I placed all of our big orders, so our solar, our batteries, our WeBoost, our lights, all sorts of things. I know it can be a little scary to make big purchases like this all at once, but it really is beneficial in the long run to streamline your build process, to have all of your materials ready to go, lined up, and that way you're not waiting on anything or having any delays in your build process. So now that we've got all of that done, we're gonna run into the hardware store and grab our supplies and get started. Josh wanted to check the clearance section first. It's very picked over. They're out of this stuff in the 1 inch, so we're gonna go ahead and go with this because they have it in stock in both of the widths that we need. The R value on this is actually a 6.5, while the R value on the other is 5, and it's a little bit cheaper, so this seems like the right way to go. Josh is just paying in the store. I came out to get the van and bring it under the covered loading dock. It is raining here today, so just to err on the side of caution, we don't want to go into our build with moisture in our materials, so we want to make sure to keep everything dry. So let's go get Josh. Josh ran to storage and grabbed some stuff we had left over from the last few vans that we've built. That's been super nice this go around, that we saved a lot of the materials that we had left over from our last build in our storage unit. He just got back from picking a couple of things up and now he's back in the hardware store. We haven't even started working at all today yet, and this is his third trip into the hardware store. So the convenience of building at Home Depot is already paying off. It saved us a ton of trips. And then we're gonna get started. We're officially working on the build! We're officially working on the build! To start, I'm going to cut some pieces of this leftover Reflectix that we had left to cover up those windows, and Buddy is working on getting our wiring ran. We try and do this before insulation, that way we can use all of these nooks and crannies to tuck our wires into. Beautiful work. Hopefully this will keep us a little cooler because it's hot. I'm gonna put some of the rest of this up in the front window to keep the sun out. Josh has a wire run up through this wall. Aren't we gonna do spray foam up there too?
Yeah. It's literally how it works on the outside.
Nice, that actually fits so well in there.
Yeah.
Are we gonna take these out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
There's one on the other side too. Oh! Ah! Yeah! Demo! More demo! Ah! And that officially concludes the demo on this project. we have decided to jam to copyright-free music this afternoon, so thank you Epidemic Sounds for all the bops. Crazy! Vibe check. It went from like very metal to very peaceful very quickly.
Yeah.
Josh has a really great trick for getting a bigger piece up into these small holes. He put a slit down the center here so they crack. That way you can get it to slide all the way up and fill in more of the space. Did I not do a good enough job trimming it? I can trim it again. Again. Perfect! One more piece! One more! One on the door here. Yes! Nice and snug. We've got this 1-inch board foam left. We're gonna use that on the ceiling, but we have to wait until after our vent fan's installed and our solar panels are on the roof. It looks like we might have just some leftover materials in general, but it happens. All right, so that wraps up insulation. We skipped a couple of spots here and over here. We're going to put a piece of peel and stick duct insulation here, which is much thinner than the foam board. That way we can build our cabinets back over this shelf a little bit and get a couple of more inches of space out of those areas. We do also need to disconnect these lights so that once they're built into the wall, they don't accidentally get turned on and use up a lot of our battery. And then next is spray foam. This is the most fun part of doing insulation. It's also extremely messy, so don't wear anything nice and make sure and wear gloves. Gonna let Josh handle this part, I think, because I'm notorious for making a mess. I did a bad tape job. He told me that earlier. As you can see, there's still quite a bit of space left around the edges of the foam board. We try and cut them to size as much as possible. Whoa. But then to fill in the cracks, we'll be using this great stuff. It is a gap and crack filler, a foam insulation. It's super, super messy and it takes a while to dry. That's why we have the boards taped up. That way it has time to dry and it'll stay securely in place. Once you open these, they are open though, so once you start this project, you kind of have to finish the can at least.
Yeah, I mean, they say that you can reseal them, but
it's a lie.
In my experience, they just dry out, because once the stuff dries, it's like concrete.
It does also expand quite a bit.
Yeah.
So don't overdo it. Pro tip.
You can always go back later and fill in the gaps that are still left.
We are going to be skipping these areas for right now. We will be using them to run our wiring, so we want that to still be accessible. Got a decent amount done today. To finish up the last few parts of the insulation, we are waiting on a product delivery. We placed our order for it today. It will be in for store pickup at Lowe's next Monday, so we'll have to wait on the rest of the insulation for that, but we're gonna work on wiring on Friday while we wait. But this product, I can't wait to show it to you guys next week. I absolutely swear by this insulation for van builds. It's so thin, super user friendly. Insulation is such an important step, you guys, especially if you're gonna be traveling with a pet. We make sure to do a really thorough job on this to keep Haley nice and cool and comfortable, and ourselves, but we do take extra caution because we are traveling with a pet. Ready for a beer, bud?
Yeah.
I don't think you're in focus at all, but we're ready for beers. Yay! Welcome back to the construction site. Happy Friday. Today we are working on running our electrical wiring so that we can finish off our insulation next week and start building. So we've spent most of today running errands. Like I said earlier in this week's video, gathering supplies is a whole project in and of itself. We've also started to receive some of our shipments in, which is super exciting. I wanted to show you guys. Our sink and stove came in today, so we have brought them out to kind of fit them in the space and make sure that everything looks like it's gonna work all right. I think that's a perfect fit. It's all barely going to fit, but we're gonna make it work. So to start off, for wires, our floor-to-ceiling pantry is going to go here. So the plan is to have a little charging nook on either side, so we'll have to wire both of those outlets eventually, but since they're going to be ran through the cabinetry, we don't have to run them through the walls. So we're not running those today. We're just going to be running our under cabinet lights that are going to be along the underneath side of the cabinet that goes here above our seating area. So we'll be running that wire. We already have our vent fan wire here. We also need to add a wire for our ceiling lighting. So we'll be running that today. And then the final wire we'll be running today will be the wires for our light switches, which are going to go right here on the wall at the end of the sliding door, so they'll be in the kitchen area. And these lights will be for our ceiling lights and our under cabinet lights for this side of the van. So we'll be having cabinetry up here and recessed lighting there as well. So we'll be running 2 wires here, 2 switches, 2 separate lights, and then the switch for the under cabinet lights above the couch will be over on that side of the van. We will also eventually be running wiring for our water pump that will power our sink under here and our fridge that will be where I'm sitting. But all of our battery bank is going to be right next to the fridge underneath the bed. So that wiring can all go through fixed cabinetry here. So again, we will be wiring those a little bit later on. So that's basically a rundown of what we're going to be working on today. So now we're going to get to work. Just wanted to go ahead and apologize in advance for all the cicadas that might be making an appearance in this week's audio. They're so crazy loud where we're at today. And I think we even ended up with one in the van somewhere, so that's really fun. We were just deciding on the height of our couch. We decided to do an 18-inch off the ground couch. This is kind of where you have to start making like more finite decisions about measurements and things like that. Now that we're actually getting started with the wiring, we want to make sure that we put our switches and outlets and all of those things in a good spot that makes sense. So we've been doing a lot of discussing as we're working today to try and get all of those things like ironed out. So we've decided our fuse box and our battery bank and all of that will be here. We are planning on installing a kill switch that we can access from inside the van for the fuse box inside our floor-to-ceiling pantry. And we've allowed ourselves enough wire to run it all the way to the fuse box behind the fridge underneath the bed. So now another one for the under cabinet lights, because that was for the ceiling lights. Okay, really exciting turn of event. Our insulation that wasn't supposed to arrive until Monday is here today. And we also want to get some gap and crack filler, but for like bigger gaps. Now that we've got our wiring run, we can fill in all of these areas with that large gap filler. So we're gonna go on a supply run. Since we are using all of our recreational time for this build, we'll be enjoying a beer this fine Friday evening while we work on spray foam. Alright, it's time for these lights to go. More demo! Ah! Turn it off for you. We're trying to be cautious of building over of all of these access points to the rear brake lights, those kind of things, all the electrical wiring for the doors, because if you go ahead and foam all that stuff in and later you need to access those wires for repairs, you can run into some serious issues. Like serious issues. Ooh, another thing I wanted to update you guys on was these blackout curtains we installed today. So the more we kind of looked into how much space we were gonna lose by installing a retainer wall and pocket door, we were gonna lose almost half a foot, and we're already downsizing enough. So we got this curtain rod and some blackout curtains today at the store. We're not sure if we're gonna stick with this particular set long term, but at least for now, this was like $20 altogether. It gets us set up and kind of keeps this back area private and whatnot. We also got a shipment in. We got these window covers. These ones are not quite flat because they came rolled up in the packaging, but they're custom fit for our windows, and we'll be getting one more for the front window. So we're really hoping that between the window covers and the curtains, this will feel private and safe to us, because we've grown so accustomed to our pocket door and we love the privacy that it provides. So this is going to be a huge change for us, but we're hoping that it works out. Also going to save us a ton of money on lumber and construction materials and those kind of things, which is another reason we decided to try this route. If you guys have any experience with a pocket door versus a curtain, let me know in the comments below, because we're still really torn on this and it's still early enough that we can change our minds. Josh found a really funny place to keep his beer while he works on stuff. I am making use of this really awesome storage retainer shelf type situation. I'm already really excited about having this, and I can't believe we didn't build one into our other van. I hurt myself. Okay. Back to work. Okay, so I'm less excited to show you guys this product now because it just like attacked me. But we are working on our subflooring tonight. We're gonna try and let the gaps and cracks expand and dry a little bit more. So we're gonna start on the floor. We took out the subflooring. We'll be putting that back in on top of the insulation. So let me show you guys what we're working with. The floors have these ribs in them, so we'll be cutting thin slices of this insulation to kind of build up this middle part to be even, and then we'll do a full layer of this stuff again on top before we put the subflooring back in. Alright, so Josh has got started. Our first time working with this product was in our last fan build, and we loved it so much we're coming back to use it again this go around. Sorry if the lighting's a little bit strange. We're trying to work with a ring light, but we're out of sunlight. But we're finding that it's much more pleasant to work in the summer in the evenings because it's not quite so hot. So this is what the packaging looks like. I will put a link for this in the description box below for you guys. I've only been able to find this product at Lowe's. They don't seem to have it at Home Depot. We ordered ours ahead of time for store pickup. It was super easy because they tend to not have a ton of it in stock. Pro tip. It's so easy to work with though, isn't it, bud?
Yeah.
We love it. 10 out of 10. Would recommend.
I don't think that I'm being that selfish right now. You said yourself you'd be breaking every vow. I can understand you're tired of this town, and I'm not saying that we have to settle down now. Just remember this: we could have been stardust, same world but without us. Something made us find each other out there, made us realize we're more than just stardust. Ignore this fact if you must, to do what your dreams are telling you to do. And I'll be out there looking for someone like you. Stardust, stardust.
All right, we got the floor insulated. So now we're just gonna get the subflooring back in, and I think that's where we're gonna leave you guys this week. So we're gonna get the subflooring put back in, and I will pick up with you guys next week. Our solar panels will be arriving on Monday. Our vent fan is in. So next week we'll be up on the roof installing all of those things and wrapping up insulation. But I will see you guys next Sunday. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our build series that's coming up over the next few weeks. And I'll see you guys next Sunday. Act it! You should do it in front of the camera. Ow! So we've been